Welcome to Airikai the Cobra with Keani. Let's start out in child pose and raise all the way up onto your arms and dip forward, touching your nose down to the ground, and then returning back into child's pose. We're going to do that a few times to warm up. Think about breathing the entire time. Come back forward once more, stretching the spine, elongating as you come down. Touch the nose again, and return your hips down to the ground, touching your ankles. Lift one arm up to the sky, pull it down, and now let's lift the other arm. Return that, taking a deep breath in. Exhale and come forward. Go halfway down, touch the nose to the ground, and return once more. Exhale as you return. Take another deep breath in. And this time, just test out how strong your arms are. Dip forward just a little bit, keeping your elbows tucked in wide. Pop forward, bringing the head down. Just try to balance on your arms. And then return back to child's pose again. If you feel comfortable doing that, let's go ahead and go forward this time into a deeper cobra, dipping the head down, bringing the head up and lowering the hips down to the ground, and then returning back into child's pose. Pull from the middle of your back and arch all the way up into a seated position, and stretch both arms up above your head, pulling your ribs off of your spine, elongating and stretching over to one side. Exhale, keep your eyes high, and then exhale and reach on the other side, always keeping your nose in line with the spine, pressing the heels down into the ground. Stretch your arms out wide and interlock your fingers behind you, pulling the shoulder blades back off of your spine, lifting the chest high to the sky, and arching to one side, lifting the rib cage up, and then arch to the other side. Great job. Take a deep inhale. Exhale as you bring your arms back forward, out in front of you. Touch them down to the ground as you go into child's pose. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, reach forward with your body, touching down into a plank position, tucking your elbows in, and then pull all the way back into a seated child pose once more. Gather another big breath of air, raise one arm up, and raise the other arm. Gather fuel and oxygen for your body as you arch forward for another cobra, taking the chest high to the sky, this time reaching your eyes behind you. Try to arch backwards with the navel pressing into the ground, and then return, pressing the hips backwards into a seated child pose once more. Raise your arms back up, spread them out wide. Hold your arms up above your head, interlock your fingers and press them to the sky, arching to one side and arching to the other. Deep inhale as we spread our arms out wide. Exhale as you return down to child pose once more. Get down even deeper on the ground, letting your arms reach far away from your legs. And hold this position, feeling rhythm in your breath. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, take the center of your spine, pulling up, coming forward into a plank once more. Tuck your elbows along your ribs, press all the way to the ground, and return to that child pose, letting your hamstrings pull you down to the ground. Lift your right arm up to the sky and lower it, and lift the other arm up to the sky, keeping your shoulder connected to your back, and return it to the ground. Take one long deep breath, and now exhale. Another deep breath inward. As you exhale, stretch and reach your body towards the ground, arching that neck up to the sky, getting deeper and deeper into the cobra, elongating your legs this time, letting your elbows come onto your back, shoulders onto the back, head is almost even touching the back. Then we return back down, scooping downward once more with the nose touching the ground as we return into the child pose. Take a deep inhale, exhale, and lift your body up into a seated position. Arch your arms up above your head, keeping the elbows aligned with your head. And breathe in this position, arching over to one side. Compress your ribs downward and arch them up to give you a nice arc in the body. Bring our arms back out wide. Reach forward and return down to child's pose. Take a deep inhale, and then come forward into one more plank, pressing your elbows backwards, and then return right back to child's pose. Keep a rhythm with your breath. Now we're going to raise our arm up, keeping the wrist the highest point on the arm. And then lower it. Raise the other arm, the wrist again is the highest point on that arm, keeping the deltoid locked and tight. Press your elbows inward as we come all the way forward. Arch your hips up high to the sky. And then curl the hips below your body, letting your navel press forward, your head press backwards, and your chest to the sky. Take a deep breath while you're at the top and go even deeper, exhaling to get your body as deep as possible. Squeeze your inner thighs together, press your quads down into the ground. One more deep breath, and now let's exhale slowly, coming back out of the motion, arching our hips up to the sky and then curling them down so they connect to our heels, bringing us back to child's pose. Great job. Take a deep inhale and exhale, rising up into a seated position. Interlocking our hands, bringing them to the sky. Close your eyes this time and feel the balance, pressing your quads down into the ground, squeezing our inner thigh once more, arching to the left. And now arching over to the right. Hold that position, squeezing our elbows in tight, getting the longest arms we can. After you inhale, bring the arms out wide. Place the arms onto the back, pulling the shoulders all the way back. Lift the head up high to the sky. And close your eyes as you arch to one side, lifting that chest, keeping the arms nice and tight behind you, and then arch to the other side. Let your breath lead your motion and clear your mind. Let the body flow with the rhythm that we're creating. Stretch your arms out wide, pulling them back in front of you and reaching as far forward as you can as you place them on the ground, lowering our head. Make sure your toes are pointed while you're lying down. And now come back forward into a plank, pointing your toes, squeezing your inner thighs together, and making sure your glutes sit down, and lift your arm up. Lower it. Let your breath lead that motion. Inhale as you come up. Keep on breathing in, and as you exhale, lower it back down. Take another inhale in, and as you exhale, reach forward for the Cobra, running the nose as low as possible, arching the back, getting a beautiful back bend into the Cobra as you come up. Root downward with your quads, pressing them into the ground and pulling your abdomen completely off the ground. Take a deep inhale and let the breath keep flowing as we exhale and root back down into the ground with our hips up in the sky. Then we lower them down onto our heels. And now keep your mid-back up high and let it lift you all the way up into a seated position as we prep for our shoulders. Reposition yourself and roll your shoulders backwards. And now forward. Try to get as much range of motion in your shoulders as possible as you take them in alternating circles forward and backward, letting the breath lead the motion. Interlock your arms and take them up above the sky, and remind yourself that it's a beautiful dance, not a workout, as we arch over to one side, keeping your eyes on the sky. Maintain a beautiful line as we arch over on the other side, keeping our back straight, our knees rooted, our toes pointed, and our quads pulled together. Take a deep inhale as we bring our arms out to the side. Roll your arms out in front of you and arch the back backwards as far as you can. Return the arms back behind your back, lifting the chest up and getting a deep spine stretch, arching the neck up away from your chest. As you inhale, return your arms forward, interlock them once more, and make your back concave. Spread the arms wide and interlock them down below, rooting them down as we lift up on the chest and arc over to one side, keeping your neck aligned with the body. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, arc over on the other side. Press your spine backwards, your neck backwards, and the top of your head is going to be reaching up as you arc to the side. Swim your arms back forward, place them as far in front of you as you can, and root downward into the ground. Lift your body up and come all the way forward into a longer plank. As you inhale, release your hands and interlock them behind you, joining your elbows and lifting your chest to the sky. Engage your core and swim your arms back out in front of you, and slowly, gracefully place the hands on the ground and pull one foot in. and point it back down. Bring the other leg in and point it back down. Place the hands back on the ground, pressing off, and letting your breath push you as you return back into a seated position. Take a deep breath in and let that energy flow through your body. Another deep breath in. And as you exhale, rise that arm up out in front of you. Continue the exhale as we lower it to the ground. We inhale and we lift the other side. And then we lower it to the ground as we exhale. Take a deep inhale and reach forward for the deepest cobra we've done yet, arching the head backwards, and this time the only thing that should be touching is the bottom of your quads and your hands pressing you back deep and deeper into that. Another deep inhale. Always let the breath flow. Exhale as we scoop down, arching our hips up to the sky, pulling backwards with your quads and your hams, and rooting back down into the ground. Keep the breath flowing as we lift up, placing the arms out wide, getting a large range of motion in our shoulders, and rise up above our heads and over on one side. Close your eyes and then arc over to the other side. Feel every muscle stretch in your arms, pressing your palms to the sky, pulling the biceps inward and curling the forearms out wide. Come back to center and pull the arms out wide. Interlock them back behind you, again curling the arms as you do so, which will in turn pull the shoulders off of your body, and then arc over to one side. In a continuous motion with your breath, we arc to the other side. Bring your arms as wide as you can. Let them come out in front of you as you engage your core, placing the arms down in front of you, never forgetting your breath, and coming to a rested position. Relax here, you've earned it. Relax in child pose as you slowly let your heart rate come back down, taking deep and rhythmic flows in your breath work. Expand your chest, then exhale slowly as you lie there. Keep your arms reached out in front of you. Try to lie as still as possible, having no movement in the body. And now take a deep inhale and arc forward into a lower plank and return back to child's pose. Lifting the right arm up, lowering it, and lifting the left arm up, and now lowering it. Take a deep inhale and press all the way down into a forward plank once more. Interlock your hands behind you and curl them backwards, lifting your chest up off the ground, engaging your lower back. Bring your arms all the way out, place them by your chest, and then press slowly back into child's pose once more. Take a deep inhale, and now exhale, gripping the ground and pulling yourself forward, arching your back as much as you can, making your cobra as much of a circle as possible. While pressed back there, root your leg down into the ground and pull your toe up off the ground and reach your head with your toe, and then return it to the ground. Do the same with the other side, reaching as high as you can, pointing to the sky with your toe, and returning it to the ground, and returning your chest back down to the ground. Go into a complete plank, and then hover your body as you push yourself back into a seated child's pose, arching your back up to the sky, and reaching all the way up to where you come into a seated position. Stretch your arms out wide, reach them forward, interlocking them, and then stretch them all the way up to the sky, pulling your shoulder blades down, keeping your lats on your back. With your inhale, reach over to one side, slowly exhale, turn your nose over towards your shoulder. Another deep inhale, and exhale, letting the motion take you to the other side. Press your abdomen backwards, connecting your spine, elongating it as much as possible. Come back to center, stretch your arms as far wide as you can, curling them, and rotate your shoulders around in a circle, having a beautiful motion as we bring our arms back forward to place them on the ground. Great job. Take a deep inhale in, and rise up with your chest, leading the motion all the way into a forward plank. Remembering to squeeze our inner thighs and pointing our toes. Point that toe all the way up and bring it back down. The other toe up and bring it down. Let go with your hands. Now interlock the arms behind you and lift your head up off the ground in a stretched position backwards. Turn the hands back in front of you. With a lot of power in the fingertips, press off the ground and come all the way back, pressing the glutes downwards, lifting the quads up to the sky, creating a circle in your body. Lift the right arm up off the ground, and then lower it. Bring this closer to your core, let the ribs lead the motion. Lift the other side, and now lower it back down. The more you can use your core for the motion, the stronger you will be. Use your core this time as we inhale, and then press your whole body forward, arcing the lower half up to the sky. Now arcing the upper body up as high as possible, creating a beautiful line in your lower back. Lift one foot all the way up, completing that circle. Lower it gracefully to the ground. Lift the other foot up, keeping our shoulders wide, our elbows tight. With a deep inhale, we come back down and exhale as we press all the way into the ground and root backwards. Great job. Inhale and lift your chest up, rise up high. Take your shoulders and a few circles, getting really wide range of motion in the shoulder blades. And now reach them out wide and connect your hands in front of you. Press your arms up towards the sky. Close your eyes and breathe. Arching to one side. Scooping your hands through the air. Present them as high as you can. Pressing the abdomen down low into the ground. and bring your arms out wide. Rotate your shoulders once more. Take your arms out wide, stretch them as far as possible, place them on the ground in front of you. And congratulations on finishing the Cobra workout with Keani.